Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angel Baby Kyra. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Substack. I'm getting my baby's room ready, so it's really bare right now, so bear with me. Editing Kyra here. So two things. First of all, it came out, I guess today, time that I'm recording this, that supposedly, and I'll put it here, that Nara sent an email to Onezoa and basically said like, oh, I'm gonna be suing you for I guess defamation, whatever. You can read, you can pause it. So there's that. I don't think that is legit, in my opinion, and it's signed Nara Smith. I would think that Nara would have lawyers, especially with how much money she has and that she's wealthy. So I don't think, I'm not calling Onezoa a liar. I'm just saying I don't personally believe that was sent from Nara. Second thing is that this bigger creator decided to use my screenshot of my TikTok, again, a very lighthearted TikTok, and said that this was a one-sided feminism. I can make a whole video about it, but honestly, it just comes off very hateful, and I made a YouTube community post about this, so if you want to read that, you can read that. But I ended up blocking her, and she has it in her bio too that she's not afraid to block people. So yeah, so there's that. I just don't appreciate when bigger creators know what they're doing and that can literally damage a smaller creator. So I just thought that was kind of weird, and the fact that she was condoning some of the comments that were like borderline bullying. Don't think that's cool, and as a big creator you should know your influence, which is kind of ironic because this is like what this whole thing is about big creator taking from a small creator, whatever. But yeah, so I just decided to block her, so I'm using the block button as well. And I turned off the comments on my TikTok because I wanted to have not be stressed out my last 2 weeks of pregnancy, and it's something I should have been doing this whole pregnancy, is just blocking and not responding. I got cut off. Basically, that's all I wanted to say. So if you see that, that's why I did that. Whatever. You can think whatever you want. You can not like me, whatever. Yeah, so let's just get back to the video. Also, I want to say that I don't think either content creator being mentioned today has better content. Everyone has preferences, but also I know what it's like to have things taken from you or copied and not giving credit, and it really sucks. I had my ex-best friend do this, and she's done it in multiple ways. She copied my senior project poster, she put me down for wanting to throw a concert for my senior project, and then she does the same thing. She did a lot of things that just started piling up, and other people were taking notice that when I hadn't even said anything. And that's just a very vague example of how I understand as a creative person what it's like to have someone copy you and you not get credit for it. With that being said, this situation concerning Nara Smith and Onezoa, even calling it a situation is so dramatic because it's food, it's recipes. I think that it's low-key kind of dumb, but here I am talking about it because guess what? We need content. Seriously though, on an app like TikTok, everyone's recreating the same thing. Everyone's taking inspiration from something. There's even a book that's called Still Like an Artist, which I personally really love, and if you're a creative person, you should definitely go read it. But obviously, there's some things that have been said on the interwebs per usual, and I wanted to discuss it because honestly, I don't think that Nara should apologize for anything. I don't think that she needs to credit anyone in this case, in this scenario, but we're gonna get into it. Just for this occasion, I made boba because this is one of the recipes that Onezoa says that Nara has stolen from her, which, fun fact, it is a Taiwanese dessert and it is one of my favorite things in the world. I got this from Trader Joe's and it's actually pretty good. It's the passion green tea one and it's like new. Anyways, let's get into it. So there's actual articles written about this, and I think that's so funny because it's like so dramatic, but here we are. This is Onezoa, and I'm saying it how I've heard other content creators say it, so I apologize if I'm not saying her name name, right? And then her last name is Mumbola. And it says it's not recipes I'm talking about, it's a pattern of stealing ideas. So first of all, I had no idea who Oneswa was before this situation. And apparently she's a South African creator who resides in South Africa, and she makes a lot of cooking videos which have to do with her homemaking and raising livestock, raising fruits and vegetables, growing fruits and vegetables, like farm to table kind of thing. And Nara Smith is more of an influencer. She's a model. She was a model first before she became an influencer. Her husband is Lucky Blue Smith. She is known for her cooking videos of making things from scratch. Now, something I want to point out is that the reason why Nara makes things from scratch the way that she does is because she has eczema, and she has shown her eczema flare-ups where it has gotten pretty bad to the point where she just needed relief, right? So she found out that changing her diet and making things from scratch, knowing what she puts in her food, has really helped her manage her eczema flare-ups, which is great. Nara is also South African, and I believe she is German, so she is biracial. Even before this, a lot of people, and this comes into more of a touchier territory, which is colorism. And colorism exists in pretty much every culture, I would say. Personally, I've experienced colorism. I see it in the Philippines, in Filipino culture, and a lot of people are also saying this is a case of colorism because Nara Smith is a lighter black person compared to Oneswa. So there is that, but I truly don't think that that is what is going on here, and I'm going to explain why further as we get along into this. And Nara resides in Texas, which is the United States, obviously, and I always thought she lived in LA for the longest time, but she lives in Texas because she has that like influencer accent. In South Africa, TikTok doesn't pay their creators, so there's that, and that's one of the things Oneswa brings up, is that she's not getting paid for her content, but yet Nara is allegedly copying and stealing her content and ideas. Okay, so that's basically what's going on. And Nara is 22 years old, and she has 4 babies, one of them being a step baby, I believe. She cooks for her family and her husband, and she really doesn't do much other than that. And she has millions of followers, and Oneswa has been climbing with followers since this ordeal has happened. And again, I did not hear about her until this happened, so she's getting a lot more people to know about her. So she's a South African chef and content creator, and she obviously accused Nara of stealing her ideas. She posted a video on Instagram Reels, which if I can put it in here, I'll put it in here.
Today, the video that I posted on here was different to the video that I posted on TikTok. In the voiceover on TikTok, I mentioned that I would be taking a break from content creation, and I didn't say it on here because I don't think I'll be leaving the space, but I guess whatever happens after these videos will determine if I stay on here or not. And the reason for me taking a break on that platform is that for months now, I have watched a very, very popular content creator use my ideas. And again, I'm not the first person to do anything. They have continuously used my ideas to get views. Now, that would be fine, except in South Africa, we don't get paid for views. And where she is, they get paid for views. So she has been making money off stealing my content. I always managed to change the videos just enough so that I cannot say that they are my ideas. And when I took a break from content creation recently, she then went and moved on to my YouTube and started using ideas from my YouTube. So I have kept quiet for months at a time, just venting to my boyfriend and to my friends, and they've all told me, just let it go because you are going to be dragged by her mob of followers and you'll get cancelled. And so I've kept quiet. And recently I made a boba tea. We all saw it, we all loved it, and I was so very, 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 very proud of that video. I tweeted about it, I was so excited for it, and then a day later she made a boba video. And you might say it may be a coincidence. That would be fine if it was a coincidence, except it's a coincidence that happens very often. So is it really a coincidence? I am very disheartened. I am very disheartened because she's making thousands of dollars in views, and I am lucky to get a brand collaboration every 3 months. I can count the number of brands I've collaborated with over the last 5 years, and probably 2 two hands. It's literally under 10. And I'm so disheartened and I'm so heartbroken, and I feel like it's not worth it for me anymore. Yes, it has never been about the money. It has never been about the money for me, and I have genuinely enjoyed making content. But imagine if you made something for free and somebody took it and they made thousands of dollars out of it. How would you feel? So yeah. And probably the most hurtful thing was when I made that video from that burner account, was people belittling me and undermining my skills, saying that I cook like their grandmothers and there's nothing new that I make. And I loved my grandmother's cooking, and I understand that my content can be very nostalgic, which is what a lot of us love. I love it too. But to undermine the skill that I put in, or the skills that I have, was very hurtful. And all because they wanted to dismiss and invalidate my feelings. So, and also being likened to somebody who has continuously stolen my ideas is also very heartbreaking. You see the comments in my videos about how I'm South Africa's Nara Smith. How am I a version of her when she is stealing my content? Views will differ on what is stolen content and what is not, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, if this is where my content journey ends, then it's fine, because quite honestly, I'm very heartbroken. Sorry. I'm very heartbroken. I'm so heartbroken. I loved making these videos. I really did. And if this is where it ends, then it's fine for me. It's absolutely fine. And yeah, I hope to stay on this platform in your stories and make you guys laugh and cook with you.
But basically saying that she's heartbroken because Nara stole her ideas. She says, I specifically mentioned that I'm not the first person to do anything. I understand that. It's not recipes I'm talking about. It is a pattern of stealing ideas. And people are bringing up Nara's old videos of how she talks, how she used to talk, being like, this is the real Nara. And I want to say that, like, people change. And when you're a content creator, you kind of have to find where your branding is. And then once you find that, you kind of stick with it and you see what sticks. And obviously, the content that Nara is doing is obviously working really well for her, and a lot of people like it. A lot of people like watching her make toothpaste from scratch, making Cheez-Its from scratch, making cereal from scratch. So she's found things that people really find interesting and that people want to watch her. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So someone said, it says, according to former Master Chef Onezwa, she first noticed alleged stealing of her content late last year, but didn't say much. But last week's videos were prompted after she made her own version of a boba tea, which Smith also made a day later. This is just like ridiculous to me, because one, you don't own boba tea recipes. Like, Google is free, so is Pinterest, and it's a Taiwanese dessert. You know how many other people made boba tea that day, the same day as Onezwa, the same day as Nara did? There's only so many ways you can make boba tea. If she made the same exact guava boba tea, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's kind of obvious that she's doing that. But she just literally made milk tea. How are you gonna get mad at that? I don't understand. Like, what does she have to get credit to you for? If she did your guava recipe boba tea, then maybe, yeah, okay, I see that. But her just making milk tea, boba milk tea, that's a little reaching for me. It says, it took me a very long time to collaborate with brands because also I'm very particular about my own brand. Smith is a Lesotho German fashion model who's born in, I'm not going to say that. A citizen reached out to Smith for comment, but she didn't respond. She doesn't really respond to people, I don't feel like. People are saying Onezwa South Africa's Nara Smith. I wasn't posting frequently on TikTok until about last year. Towards the end, a lot of people would come and comment on my videos and would tag Nara Nara or call me South Africa's Nara Smith, Anezwa said. Anezwa admits that she used to follow Smith on socials at the time and says she didn't see the similarities between her content and Smith's that people were pointing out. But after that some time, Anezwa claims that she noticed there was a trend where wherever she would prepare a dish, a few days later Smith would make a similar dish but in her own way. These were minor things, it was something significant. It wasn't something significant. Again, even she admits that Nara would make a similar dish in her own way. If she verbatim copied Anezwa and what she made or how she said it or whatever, then I understand that. But everyone's doing it in their own way. That's why I don't understand. It's TikTok. You're trying to be a content creator, you're trying to be a food influencer, and you're gonna think that people aren't gonna be influenced by you. That's even if Nara is influenced by her. Said it kind of became a running joke. We'd wait how long she created something similar, and as a result, it duplicating died down. I then changed my content style to make more Asian food and more seafood just to do things I know she's not gonna be able to do. For a while, the alleged duplication stopped earlier this year, and as we went back to experimenting with other foods outside of Asian, and then again she started doing it again. I'm like, there's too much of a pattern here, but I'm not going to say anything to her. So if you are really that bothered that someone is doing this, copying you, I would think you would tell them and do it privately. So for my case, for example, with my ex-best friend, I told her, I said, there's too many things that are similar, that you're putting me down. First of all, it's like, I supported you and I want the best for you, but it's like, you're not reciprocating that with me. Told her. Was it hard to do? Yes. Did I feel like it was the right thing to do? Yes. Because I knew in my heart that it wasn't right, that she was copying things that I did and people were noticing. So I understand that part, but like, I don't know, it's just so vague. Like, it doesn't really, I can't see the similarities. I really can't. Like, I really can't. Everyone brings this up that Nara had commented on Anezwa's video on TikTok. But mind you, she did this to defend Anezwa and to, like, let her be her own person. And she says, I'm so sorry you have to deal with these comments. Your content is so inspiring. So it says, Anezwa posted a video in February where she addressed numerous people who are always commenting on her posts and referred to her as South Africa's Nara Smith. Out of her own will, without being tagged by Anezwa in the video, the South African-born Smith commented on the said video to sympathize with her. I feel like Nara did this because, you know, as you don't want to constantly be compared to someone, right? You want to be your own person. It's kind of like how I don't really like it when people say, do you like Melanie Martinez? Do you like Melanie Martinez? Do you like Melanie Martinez? And things that I have nothing to do with her, and like, honestly, it's just really annoying. It's like, I'm my own person, I make my own music, I do my own thing. So like, yes, you can be inspired by someone, but at the same time, like, you're your own person and people just want you to be a version of someone else. It's just tiring. So I understand that, and I feel like Nara is doing that as an encouragement to Anezwa. But she says, at this point, I'm thinking she has seen this and she's going to stop doing it, but she doesn't. Immediately after that, Anezwa then went to make cream cheese, and in less than 48 hours Smith did her own version of cream cheese. And again, I'm like, it's recipes. This is the tea copycat. Shared her own version of boba tea, like we mentioned earlier, blah, blah, blah. Again, if she made guava boba just like Anezwa, I would think that's very questionable, but she didn't. So lo and behold, she's made boba. At this point, I'm very frustrated to the point where I'm like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. So Nara says, I've never seen her videos, nor do I follow her. I'm not the first or last person to make boba. And with this, people are like, oh my god, she obviously knows who she is, blah, 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 blah. I personally don't remember who I comment on someone's videos. I don't remember usernames. I don't remember the day I did it. I don't remember how many months ago I did it. But there are certain people that I see on my For You page. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And they'll pop up on my For You page every now and then, because guess what? That's how algorithms work. And if you comment on someone's video, you're more likely to have them pop up on your For You page again. Honestly, I feel like people are definitely reaching that Nara is doing it like on purpose, or being shady and saying that she doesn't know who Anezwa is. And honestly, as a content creator as big as Nara, I'm pretty sure she would have a manager or some sort of social media manager or team to help her with her videos, especially with her getting such big partnerships and brand deals, and also just her being a model in general. I feel like she has other people helping her, so there's also that. We just don't know, and I feel like that's the more logical thing, because honestly, I feel like Nara's smart enough to know that would make her look bad if she genuinely didn't know, if she genuinely did do it on purpose with intent of shading Anezwa. Nara's not the only one who has had backlash. Obviously, a lot of people are commenting on Anezwa's stuff and saying that Anezwa's obviously reaching, she's doing this for clout, blah 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 blah. And it says, why would a rich woman in the United States with a husband, a family, beautiful kids be hating on me, living in rural South Africa milking goats? Shared Ineswa bursting into laughter. The mother of one believes that since so many people are aware of what's happening, this will prompt Smith to stop duplicating her content. I'm hoping shame will stop her, said Ineswa, laughing. I don't know if she's going to stop with other creators because a lot of other people have said that she's been stealing from them, so and so. I'm not the only person she's been doing this to. And here's some tweets, I guess. People just like, making fun of Nara, being like, my kids. And that's the thing, is like, Nara's content, she has become more satirical, and she's like messing with her audience because she can see how outraged people like, oh my god, that's ridiculous. Why are you making toothpaste from scratch at home? We are tired. Okay, so this is Nara Smith making mozzarella 210. Okay, I'm not sure how to say this creator's name, but this creator 216. This is the definition of aesthetics. So basically anything that has to do with beauty or something that's pleasing to the eye, or basically appearances. This is Nara's page. Look at the aesthetic. Look at how she dresses.
You know when a craving hits and you can't stop thinking. My husband's birthday is coming up, so I decided to. My husband was on his way out to.
This is the other creator's account. Do you see anything in common?
Regenerate. I believe in Tik.
They both cook, right? They both cook. They both make the same things, but guess what? Millions of other people make the same thing every single day. And I don't know why all of a sudden it's a problem when Nara does it. People say that she commented on the other creators' account, whatever, a couple months ago, saying that I guess they like their content or whatever. But there's nothing that has been blatantly stolen content. I don't even know how you would steal content on TikTok that's literally like this, like cooking. So this reminds me of the interior design drama with Taby Boop and Karen Joy, when someone said that they stole someone's wallpaper or finishing or whatever. Both women can have a great following, they can do whatever they want, but saying that one person stole from the other is just kind of not it when it's TikTok, when literally there's no originality. Currently, TikTok doesn't pay South African creators. Currently, it's just the US, France, Brazil, Germany, Japan, Korea, and the UK. So a lot of people are saying that the other creator is probably upset that they're not getting paid by TikTok, which rightfully so. TikTok should be paying their creators, especially with the views that she gets. She has a bunch of paid partnerships on her page, and she has around 300k followers, I think, and she does a lot of really cool content where she shows like from farm to table, and a lot of her stuff is like grown by her, compared to Nara, where Nara just uses things she bought from the market, and it's usually in the same place in her kitchen most of the time. So I'm not really seeing where the aesthetics are being stolen. I do want to say though that Nara has not spoken up about what has been happening in Gaza and Palestine, or has used her platform in any of that way. People obviously are also criticizing her for going to McDonald's and like posting that on her page when she has over like 7 million, I might be mistaken. She has millions of followers, right? And she hasn't spoken about this. So let's put our attention towards something that's actually should be criticized, or that should be brought to the attention, because I think there's more pressing matters than people stealing recipes on TikTok. Like, there's literally a genocide going on right now, and people are fighting over pettiness, and it's just like there's so much more things to be worrying about. Just so happen to have bentonite clay, but you don't have a restock of toothpaste. I want to remind people that Nara is also Gen Z, so like she kind of has the humor and the wittiness, and I just think people don't understand the satirical part of Nara's content. And also I feel like that's what makes Nara's content so her. You can't really find anyone else that has like content like her besides cooking. There's so many cooking creators, you know. She confirmed that she will continue creating and posting content on both TikTok and Instagram. So I think personally, I don't think that Nara is copying Onezwa, and I know it is a big problem that people have, that not that people have, that on TikTok is a big problem that bigger creators often take from smaller creators and just use their small creators' ideas as their own. You see that not just on TikTok, but with brands, with smaller brands, Shein taking from smaller clothing companies, brands, or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, this is like the one case where I don't think that it's stealing. I think Onezwa, I think she needs to find other ways to monetize maybe, because putting it on Nara that she's not getting paid just isn't a good look for her. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of siding with Nara more just because I feel like it's blatantly obvious there's no copying. It's just making recipes. And honestly, at this point, you just might as well say that people just can't make food on TikTok or create things on TikTok, because there's room for both creators, which is the thing I don't understand. There's room for everyone to have a following or to do whatever. And I just think that it's sad that people are putting these two women against each other. And I think Onezwa is the one who really started everything with the accusations or whatever. And I feel like she probably should have talked to Nara privately before she came out with this. I feel like a lot of people would have respected her more if she talked to Nara privately. And I feel like it wouldn't have gone into this like nasty situation where like people are just like really rabid for either one. And we don't do parasocial relationships here, so I'm not here to be like pull up on Nara's jock. At the same time, I don't think she has anything to be sorry for.
When you go down a bread aisle at the grocery store, guess what? There are dozens of brands of the same sliced bread. You don't see Wonder Bread beefing with Schwabels. When you create cooking content, you have to be very careful accusing people of stealing your content, especially when it is not an original recipe that you came up with personally. So if you're a cook that follows recipes, then I guess we're all copying each other when we make cooking content, because most of the cooking content creators get their recipes from somewhere. I empathize with Onezwa being frustrated that she's not being compensated for her content, and Nara Smith is. Y'all cannot gatekeep recipes that y'all did not come up with or invent yourselves. Y'all keep saying, well, Nara Smith needs to give credit to Onezwa. But did Onezwa give credit to the person before her? Because Onezwa did not invent or create boba tea. She just made it. There are dozens of videos on YouTube right now of people making boba tea from scratch. One is from 6 years ago. We're not asking her to credit those people, so why does Nara Smith have to credit Onezwa for making boba tea? Trust me, there is plenty of room in this industry for the both of them. There is no need to create a beef when they both have their own fan base. I think the biggest problem here is Onezwa is not being compensated for her content. There's a saying that says, just because I give you the recipe doesn't mean that your sauce is going to come out the same. Why can't we just support both content creators because they both make beautiful content? It doesn't always have to be drama involved when there's room for both of them.
Like, she literally just makes food. I think that like overall their styles are nothing alike, and the people who are saying that it is colorism, I don't think it's colorism, because I would be colorism if they were like literally in the same kind of niche. We would take Onezwa's niche, for example, homestead to farm to table. If Nara was doing the same farm to table thing, yeah, I think it would be an issue of colorism and favoring Nara. I don't think that's the situation here, personally. And also, ballerina farms is also a thing. She's been doing that. She's a trad wife, though. Emily Mariko, a lot of people are saying Emily Mariko is kind of the one who popularized this kind of content on TikTok, which is like ASMR, kind of food videos, or just relaxing food videos, making food videos. So there's so many other content creators that are on here. Literally the other day I saw Nara Smith making Snickers for Lucky, and then the video under that was another guy making Snickers from scratch, and he's like making whipped cream and making cheese. And I think just like doing these homemaking things has become more popular on TikTok in general. I've seen a lot more people take time to make homemade food and do it at home, especially with the state of the economy. A lot of people are trying to find ways to save money and to be more economically savvy. So I don't think that this is just like a big creator stealing from a small creator. I don't think this is a light colored person getting a lot of credit from taking from a darker colored person. And I know a lot of people have a lot of thoughts about that, but personally, that is my opinion. Feel free to disagree, but I don't think that is the case in this situation. Has there been instances before where this colorism happens? Yes, of course, it happens all the time. This is a one rare case where I don't think it's actually happening. Hopefully I got everything wrapped up in this video. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Be respectful. I will be blocking and reporting very disrespectful comments. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Cheeks than her. What? You try so hard to be different, so stuck in your own head. You say you can't.